Reality television has always thrived on drama, secrets, and shocking revelations. But what is currently unfolding between the television network and Amy and Tammy Slayton could become one of the most explosive scandals in the history of modern reality TV. For years, millions of viewers have tuned in to watch their story play out in raw and unfiltered ways. These two sisters from Kentucky transformed their personal struggles into one of the most popular reality television franchises. Their lives, their bodies, their relationships, and their emotional highs and lows were all packaged and broadcast for entertainment. But behind the emotional moments, the viral clips, and the unforgettable story arcs, a battle has been brewing, one that has now erupted into a lawsuit involving unpaid earnings, accusations of breach of contract, and claims of exploitation. The network's lawsuit alleges that Amy and Tammy have breached their agreement by refusing to film the upcoming season of their show. In response, Amy has reportedly claimed that the network owes them $50,000 in unpaid earnings. That figure has become the flashpoint in a conflict that touches on money, power, control, and the often hidden mechanics of reality TV production. To understand how everything reached this boiling point, it's necessary to go back to the beginning of their relationship with the network, back to when they signed their first contracts, believing that they were stepping into a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. When Amy and Tammy Slayton first appeared on television in 2020, they were not polished celebrities. They were two sisters from Kentucky with thick Southern accents, unfiltered personalities, and a raw, brutally honest way of talking about their lives. They were living in bodies that weighed hundreds of pounds, struggling with mobility, health complications, and family tensions. But they were also full of humor, determination, and sisterly love. That combination made them stand out from the crowded landscape of reality TV. Unlike some other shows where each episode followed a single person on a weight loss journey, their series focused on their family dynamic. It wasn't just about numbers on a scale, it was about daily chaos, sibling fights, small victories, and hard truths. Their formula worked. Clips went viral on social media. Viewers related to their pain, their humor, and their honesty. Amy wanted to have children and was determined to lose weight to make it happen. Tammy wanted independence to live life on her own terms. Their brother Chris wanted to see both of them survive long enough to enjoy the future they were fighting for. These elements turned their lives into entertainment gold. Online platforms exploded with memes, reaction videos, and commentary. Suddenly, Amy and Tammy weren't just reality TV subjects, they were internet icons. Their story was no longer theirs alone. It was owned, discussed, shared, and consumed by millions of strangers. The network realized they had struck gold. Each season built upon the previous one, with expectations growing higher and higher. More weight loss milestones, more emotional conflicts, more personal drama. But behind the smiles and the on-screen tears, producers allegedly began tightening their control. The contracts that Amy and Tammy signed gave the network broad power over their lives. Those contracts, according to multiple industry insiders, were ironclad. They locked the sisters into multi-season commitments, restricted their ability to negotiate pay, and gave the network the authority to control their public images. They also included strict non-disclosure agreements that limited what the sisters could say publicly about production or finances. When they started, the sisters reportedly earned as little as $1,000 to $2,000 per episode, which is startlingly low considering the revenue the show was generating for the network. Over time, their salaries rose, but nowhere near proportionally to the millions of dollars in advertising and streaming income. As the show became a bigger and bigger hit, the sisters remained underpaid compared to what other reality TV stars earned for similar or even less exposure. Meanwhile, the contracts allegedly made it nearly impossible for them to walk away or renegotiate without facing steep penalties. To make matters worse, insiders claim the network withheld certain payments, citing production delays or other contractual clauses. This is where the $50,000 dispute comes in. Amy and Tammy were reportedly promised incremental pay raises each season. But when they completed their obligations for certain previous seasons, those raises didn't materialize. According to what Amy has reportedly told those close to her, the money isn't some future bonus. It's payment for work that has already been done. She claims the network owes it to them. The tension reached a breaking point with Season 8. This season was supposed to be the most dramatic yet. It was to follow Amy as she adjusted to life as a mother of two, navigating her separation from her husband while raising her children and dealing with new personal challenges. Tammy, meanwhile, was expected to undergo life-saving bariatric surgery and experience a massive transformation that would shock viewers. The season was teased as a turning point, a triumphant chapter that would showcase personal growth and redemption. But when it came time to roll the cameras, the sisters said no. Amy's refusal, according to multiple sources, was primarily about the unpaid money. She reportedly told friends that she could no longer sacrifice her privacy, her time, and her mental health, while the network wasn't even paying what they owed. Tammy, on the other hand, had different but equally powerful motivations. After years of being portrayed as the villain of the show, the sister who refused to lose weight, who lashed out at loved ones, who spiraled into dangerous health situations. She wanted more control over how her story was told. She reportedly believed that she had little say in how producers edited the footage, and that they repeatedly chose to highlight her worst moments for maximum drama. When they both refused to film, the network escalated the situation. They reportedly sent legal notices citing breach of contract and then formally filed a lawsuit. At the center of the lawsuit was the $50,000 payment, which the network claimed was conditional, possibly tied to future episodes or promotional appearances. The sisters countered that it was owed regardless, and that the network had no right to withhold it. What might sound like a contract dispute over a relatively modest amount of money is actually symbolic of a much larger power struggle. This is the classic push and pull of reality television. The stars claim they are being exploited, that they are underpaid and controlled, and that their lives are being shaped for entertainment at their expense. The networks claim the stars signed the contracts willingly, that they owe obligations, and that walking away causes financial loss. The lawsuit revolves around a single figure, $50,000, but according to some insiders, that number might be just the beginning. There may be more unpaid earnings, hidden deductions, and contractual gray areas buried in the fine print. If this case proceeds and financial documents are made public, it could reveal how much money reality TV networks make compared to what they pay their stars. The reaction from fans was swift and divided. On social media platforms like Reddit and Facebook, many fans expressed support for Amy and Tammy, arguing that they had endured years of being underpaid and mistreated while the network profited. Some pointed out that without the sisters, the show wouldn't exist. "They deserve every penny," one fan wrote. The network made millions off their pain and struggles. Others, however, saw it differently. They argued that the sisters owed their fame and their financial opportunities to the show, and that refusing to film was a betrayal of their own success. One commenter said, "They're biting the hand that feeds them." The truth, as always, likely lies somewhere in the middle. There's no doubt the sisters became famous because of the show. But there's also no doubt the network has profited tremendously from their lives. If Amy's allegations of unpaid earnings are true, then the network may face not only legal consequences, but also a backlash from the public and other cast members of different shows who might come forward with similar claims. This lawsuit also reflects something much larger than one show or one pair of sisters. It highlights the way reality TV stars are treated in general. Networks often cast ordinary people, turn their personal lives into content, and make huge profits while paying the people at the center a fraction of the revenue. Many reality TV contracts include clauses that give producers broad control, restrict cast members from seeking outside deals, and prevent them from speaking openly about their experiences. In the early 2000s, when reality television was still growing, few cast members challenged these contracts. But today, with social media and more awareness of how the industry works, stars have platforms of their own. They can speak directly to fans, build their own brands, and fight back. If Amy and Tammy move forward with their legal action, they may not only seek the $50,000 they claim is owed, but potentially damages for emotional distress and contractual violations. If this case goes to trial, the fallout for the network could be severe. Other reality TV stars, past and present, might use the case as a rallying point to demand better treatment or share their own experiences. The network, on its end, reportedly wants damages for breach of contract, arguing that the sisters' refusal to film has already cost them millions in lost advertising revenue and production delays. The future of the series now hangs eindurkrist. Tammy later revealed that much of her anger wasn't just spontaneous outbursts, it was carefully engineered by the show's production team. She described how the crew would purposely delay meals, keep her waiting for long periods before appointments, or intentionally create uncomfortable situations, knowing exactly how it would affect her emotionally. The insider account suggests that producers deliberately triggered Tammy's frustration to capture explosive on-camera moments, because those moments translated directly into viral clips, high ratings, and endless social media chatter. Tammy's outbursts were not just random behavior, they were the result of an environment designed to push her to her breaking point. They knew exactly what they were doing, an insider said, and they needed her to snap because that's what made the show addictive. Her meltdowns became key plot lines, highlighted in promos, replayed in previews, and endlessly circulated on TikTok and YouTube as the show's most dramatic moments. This wasn't reality. It was a carefully constructed drama where Tammy's pain became entertainment. For Amy, the pain was different, but just as deep. She was devastated to see herself portrayed as an overwhelmed, unstable woman, when in reality, she was trying to hold everything together under immense pressure. The show deliberately exaggerated moments that made her look like she couldn't handle her responsibilities as a mother. Producers would film scenes in messy environments, highlight moments of exhaustion, or push her into situations where she was forced to deal with her children and family issues on camera. All of this was amplified in editing, painting her as someone struggling to manage basic tasks. She reportedly told friends that she often cried after filming Wrapped, terrified that one day her children would grow up and see the distorted version of their mother that millions of viewers were consuming. Amy and Tammy both felt betrayed, not only by the way their lives were edited, but also by the fact that they had so little control over how they were represented. By the end of season 7, the $50,000 payment dispute became the last straw. Both sisters were tired of feeling exploited. They had endured years of emotional manipulation, humiliation, and financial disputes. But when TLC allegedly told them that their contracts legally forbade them from walking away, it transformed from frustration into a fight for their dignity. For Amy, motherhood was the center of her world. Since giving birth to her sons, Gage and Glenn, she had tried to balance her personal life with the demanding, invasive schedule of reality TV production. But TLC didn't see her children as people. They saw them as content. According to people close to the production, producers pushed to film during private moments like diaper changes, midnight feedings, or emotional arguments between Amy and her then-husband, Michael. Amy reportedly begged for more privacy, pleading with producers to give her space to protect her kids. But TLC pushed back, saying the struggles of a single mother were exactly what viewers wanted. Her exhaustion, her messy house, her fights with Michael, these were gold for ratings. Amy felt cornered, realizing that she had lost control not only of her public image, but also of her private life. When the $50,000 payment was withheld, she saw it not just as a financial betrayal, but as proof that TLC didn't value her sacrifices. If they won't even pay us for what we've already done, why should I give them my family's future? She reportedly said to friends. Tammy, meanwhile, was fighting for something different, her dignity. She had been portrayed as the villain of the show for years. Viewers criticized her temper, mocked her stubbornness, and ridiculed her for not losing weight fast enough. But behind the scenes, Tammy claimed that producers actually sabotaged her progress to keep her locked into that narrative. According to multiple insiders, producers would encourage unhealthy behaviors, sometimes providing junk food or discouraging workouts, because Tammy's failure made better television. They didn't want a redemption arc. They wanted chaos, struggle, and anger. One insider revealed they wanted her to fail. That was the plot. If she got healthy too fast, they'd lose their storyline. Tammy had expected season 8 to finally be different. She had undergone bariatric surgery, experienced a dramatic weight loss transformation, and was ready to show the world a new version of herself. But instead of celebrating her progress, she claimed TLC was already promoting new narratives that painted her as unstable and dependent. That betrayal, combined with the financial dispute, reportedly pushed her to refuse filming altogether. The situation with TLC isn't unique. Over the years, multiple former stars from other shows like Sister Wives, 90 Day Fiancé, and John and Kate Plus 8 have accused the network of exploitative contracts, low pay, and manipulative production tactics. Many of these stars signed